A wave is essentially a series of peaks and troughs connected by the inclines and declines, and that's like the description of like a sinusoidal wave. Waves properties are frequency and amplitude, which describe like how often a wave will come and how great the peak or trough will be. And the forms of waves are vast as sound, light, various types of like communication waves, colors are waves. There's waves in the water, obviously. And then you kind of have these interesting connections between the idea of a wave and philosophical, well, just kind of aspects of life. Like in life, you experience ups and downs constantly, much like the motion of a wave. You're always either on a positive or a negative incline or decline, much like a wave. And the lengths of the time you spend on these inclines or declines is tied to the idea of the frequency property of a wave, where like it's just a matter of like how often or when an incline or a decline will come or change. And the amplitude kind of ties to the idea of like it's not necessarily always the worst experience or the greatest experience, but in some cases it is the worst or greatest experiences. So it's this idea that the amplitude, like the height of the peak or the depth of the trough, will change every time. And it's kind of interesting because the only constant in a wave is the fact that it's always changing, which is kind of the same as life, because the only real constant is that you're always experiencing either ups or downs, but it's always changing, and they're always different. Kind of interesting because since the constant is change, that the only change that ever really takes place is when change stops and then the constant is kind of broken in a sense.
For a little while, and I do. Then asks if I want to give to him what I see of only for a little while, and I read to him, and then he says to me he's going to show me the world, and starts reading the sentences himself, his hands dancing back and forth across the pages, stumbling over words, skipping over lines, with his fingers are going back